Why'd you do that?
We're live.
Oh, all right.
It's 11 a.m. on Sunday, December 12th. And welcome to Sacred Space Sunday.
Sunday.
It's December 12th. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's almost the end of 2021.
Yes, it is.
We just counted it down just a couple of months ago.
I know. And we thought, 2021, was going to be the year we would break free from the 2020 vision. The 2020 vision had something in store no one could have guessed, the novel coronavirus. And we thought 2021, we're going to free ourselves.
Yep.
Corona going to be gone. Then as we're moving into 2022, as they say in those Black Twitter streets, Omarion took over. Omarion.
Icebox where your heart used to be.
So y'all be careful out there as we move into this, continued season of sharing, season of giving, and a time where you spend a lot of time with friends and family. Stay diligent, be careful. Omarion and, what's the other one that's still run? Delta's still doing his thing out there. So,
Good morning, Latanya.
Good morning, Latanya. Great to know that you are out there. How you been? What's been going on?
How you doing? Wigs moving?
How are those wigs moving? So, wanted to share with you all a little small thing that brings me joy. Good morning. I've been doing a lot of studying lately, and Mark teases me because I like to have some ambiance in the space and in the place. And so, I find these YouTube experiences, as they say, and I will enjoy.
I was saying good to Tanya's comments. Doing well. Good.
So, we don't have a fireplace where we live, but I can bring the fireplace to me, and, I can hear the crackling. But, as I said to Mark, we were running out to an appointment, the cleanup and putting out the fire is a whole lot easier with the YouTube than if we had a real fire in the house. Yeah, but it doesn't put off the heat. This is true. But that's what life is all about, right? Give and take. So, in this season, not everybody's in a place where it's getting cold outside, but a lot of us are. And even here in moderate Maryland, it's been pretty chilly a couple of days. Though yesterday it got up to 60, right, Mark?
Yeah, close to 68, I think is what the Weather Channel said.
Yeah. This is what I love about living in a moderate climate. Just in the middle of the winter, all of a sudden it'll be 60. So but it's not 60 today. The weather said it was out there in the 30s. So, whether you're in Florida, you're in Georgia, you're in DC, New York, wherever you are, you can always enjoy a Christmas season fireplace via YouTube. So check it out. Y'all hear that crackling noise, right? It sounds good. Just relaxing. Let's just take it in. What's on your mind this morning, Mark, before we move into conversation? I didn't even introduce this. We said Sacred Space Sunday. This is the Niyah Center. This is what we do. We get on here in this sacred space and we just share. I am Naomi Jewell, the founder of Niyah Center, and that is my husband, Mark Christmas, the director of Holistic Wellness. And we just chat with y'all, and we want to hear what y'all are thinking or doing. So What's on your mind this Sunday morning, Mark?
Well, my heart goes out to all of those affected by the tornadoes that went through those 6 states. I guess the day before yesterday, Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee. Yeah, there's 3 more, obviously, 6 states. They said over about 100 people they think might have been, lives might have been taken. Hey, Auntie, how you doing, cuz? So just my heart goes out to them. Morning, love. Yeah, I mean, when tragedy happens unexpectedly, I mean, I guess even if you expect it, to lose something is hugely traumatic. To lose life is it's something that you don't get to replace easily. So, yeah.
See, we brought the fireplace to you. You didn't even know. What's popping off in my house that I did not ask to pop off? That's a fire crackling. We're bringing you some fire crackling.
Yeah, May pulling tricks on you. Early April Day fools. No, that's pretty. You never get all of the stuff happening in the news with the Roe versus Wade and the Texas and Mississippi with the abortion rights and the my man Chris Cuomo got dropped from CNN, so that was pretty tough. So I mean, there's a lot of things going on. My recovery is moving along fast. I'm excited. It's like I'll be back into the work system probably next month, the middle end of next month. So I'm excited about that. A little nervous about it too.
Well, the kids really have been missing you. You know, we don't want to say what they saying because we don't want to put nobody out there on Front Street. But let's just suffice it to say, folks, the kids miss him. They love his teaching style. They love what he brings to the classroom, and they are missing him. They are missing him. And,
yeah, I miss him too.
I want to know when you're coming back and how he's doing.
And when my grade's gonna get better.
See, I wasn't gonna say that. So, anyways, you all, let's get into this thing. Got a conversation coming up for you today, and I want to, move us into a bit of a meditation here. So, give me a moment to get us set up for that. We're gonna say goodbye to our warm hearth right now. So the crackling sounds, Latanya, are about to cease. And we're going to bring you some new sounds momentarily. And so for those of you who are new to joining us, new to watching us, we're everything over here. And we're not only the host of Sacred Space Sunday, we are the executive producers of Sacred Space Sunday and, the actual operators of Sacred Space Sunday. So if you see our heads and eyes moving around, it's because we are doing many things at the same time. And somehow the divine energy that guides us all works it out. So, as I do this, I invite you to find your posture of presence as we move to just take a moment in stillness to set our intention for the day, set our intention for this time together, and really find an opportunity to energetically connect across time and space. Moment. I'm going to bring in some support for us. So just begin to find your breath. When I say find your breath, I mean notice. No need to change the rhythm, just notice it. Are you breathing deeply? Are you experiencing short breaths? Just take a moment to collectively become present through our breath. And through this breath, connect to the you that is breathing, to that which is breathing you. How do you describe that which is breathing? Do you consider it as just a physical act that you can't understand or describe, that beats the heart, that moves the lungs? Or do you consider that there is something sacred behind the physical operation of the body you call by your name? For you, what is that sacred source? Do you call it God, Allah? Is it an Orisha? One or more of the Hindu deities? Brahma, universe, mystery, truth, Jesus. Through this connection to that which is behind the breath, do you experience the generational history that makes up your DNA, your ancestral history? Do you connect to those that came before, alive, and those that have transitioned to that space and plane which cannot be known from this space and plane? Behind your life-giving breath, take a moment to be aware of what drives your faith. Your faith. Your faith. acknowledge it, and give gratitude for your awareness, for your connection, for the life-giving, renewing, restoring grace that it gives you, the guidance, the support, the encouragement to navigate all of the highs and lows of this life journey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And slowly begin to bring yourself back into a state of awareness, a state of presence. Fluttering eyes open if they were closed.
Great. Great. The music was nice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. What was it, 528?
Yeah. So that's something else that you can do for yourself. If you're looking to get in a meditative state, and we've talked about for some, it's easier than others. Find one of these 528s on YouTube to help to build that energetic environment that supports going within, connecting to that which is transcendent. What were you going to say?
So you want to do some birthday shout outs?
Yes, I know we got some December birthdays out there. If it's your birthday, please put it in the chat. If you know someone who has a birthday, please put it in the chat. I got quite a few birthday shout outs, but a couple that come to mind. I want to say happy birthday to Erica Fleming Strawn out there in Hawaii, living a life in the sun. They might have some fire pits, some beach fire pits at night. I don't know. I want to say happy early birthday to my day one homie, Nikki Bravo in Chicago, who's got a December birthday. And one of my fellow board members, Cheryl, who's out there in the Midwest. She was more than knee deep in snow and loving every minute of it, who's also got a birthday in December, a Christmas Eve birthday. So shout out to Cheryl. You got any other December birthdays, Mark?
Bertica Quintero.
Oh,
happy birthday.
BQ hanging down in Miami, the Tarot Squad. We love you. We miss you. We appreciate your continued support. Bertica continues to support the Niyah Center, and thank you, Erica Strong, for your recent support of the Niyah Center. Yes, KD. How could we miss KD? Had a recent birthday. Now she's out there in Cali living a full life. Yep. Congratulations. Glad you finally made the transfer over to the left coast.
Tanya said the meditation was good. She had a few revelations.
Ooh, I love to hear that. Any other birthdays, folks? If people come to mind and you think about them, put it in the chat throughout our talk this morning so we can send them some love and send them a shout out. What else do we want to do here? Oh, the affirmation. We want to talk about the affirmation for today.
Yeah. People want to be on the show, or they got questions around the services, or contact us at the Niyah Center.
Yes, definitely. We still welcome people coming to the program, and today would actually be a great day to come to the program. And so I'm going to see here if it allows us to, yeah, here we go. I'm going to do something we haven't done before, but I'll put this in here in case anybody wants to join today. That would be the link. And if there's some trolls out there, that doesn't mean we have to let you in. We don't have to actually let you can knock, but we don't have to open the door. But if you're not a troll and would like to join us today, oh, thank you, MB Third. I'm glad to hear that. Darlene's birthday, 12/3 from LT 173. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Brother DeVoe. Happy birthday, Darlene. Thank you, Brother DeVoe. And thank you for joining from YouTube. So that's the StreamYard link for today, because, today's going to be my own personal story. We're going to talk about being and becoming unaffiliated. And so to the extent that you listen to this message today and you're inspired to share a bit about your story, you can use the link to come on live and say a word or two, whatever that might be. And we do mean a word or two, not 34. Because it's a short broadcast, and we like to give you your day back here at Sacred Space Sunday. So yes, you can contact us at the Niyah Center at gmail.com with any questions, any requests, anything that you want to share, any feedback, because we're always looking to learn and grow. So we welcome all feedback. Anything else, you can follow us on all of the social media sites. We're on all the social media sites. Growing our audience supports us. And so we appreciate that. Love donations. They really make a difference and support the vision. We were talking this morning. Mark's computer continues to freeze up. We don't want that. All kinds of things that help us bring a broadcast so that our connection is greater. The technology actually supports our connection, which supports our ministry, which supports us in being able to uplift you. And also, as we're able to move and get out in the world, continuing to be not only an online platform, but one that can support you also locally. Oh, look, we got somebody in the house. We got at least one person who's joined. We're gonna leave them in the balcony for right now, but later we're gonna bring them in. Unless they say we gotta go right now, then you can give me the two fingers. All right, they holding on. We got at least one person who took us up on our offer. Don't leave them stranded. Don't leave them stranded.
Hey, baby.
Oh, great to see you. That warms my heart. So yeah, let's get into this affirmation. Thank you, Mark. Can you go ahead and put that back up for us?
I was just saying congratulations to Monty.
Congratulations. You've been working that school system for a minute, and we know that it has been your goal. You had declared that becoming a principal, and this is your first step as an assistant principal. So we are proud of you. You've been in there. So I know it's not English as a second language anymore. It's something else. You told me a million times the proper way to say it, and I'm still using old, white supremacist language. So my apologies.
ENL.
He's like, you're never gonna get it. The diversity lady can't get it right. Yes, that's right, because I'm a human too.
That's a new language.
Right.
A new language.
Oh, I love that. Mm-hmm. Yes, English as a new language. Oh, I know I keep getting off track. So Monty, you will so appreciate this. I had a major milestone recently. I passed my Spanish language exam. Now, what does that mean? Maybe you will believe this, but I had 2 hours to translate from Spanish into English a academic journal article written completely in Spanish with no contextual background. And then the only support I had was a dictionary. And for any of you who have anything as a new language and you're a beginner, having a dictionary doesn't help you translate academic talk paragraphs. And I was able to successfully do it. So major hurdle accomplished. So I am super excited, and Monty was supportive, and his work with me on cognates set the stage for me to be able to do this many years ago. So anyway, shout out to you.
Exactly.
And I very much appreciate you. We're gonna get to this affirmation one day, guys. One day. I'm just so happy to see everybody.
A lot of congratulations to you.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do it, but I did it. Anyways, all right.
One more to go.
Right? So affirmation, Mark. Really, I'm really going to give it right now. Okay, it is my right. It is my right to self-define my existence and relationship with ultimate truth. And insert what you call ultimate truth. God, Allah, Jesus, whatever it is that you consider ultimate truth. It is my right to self-define my existence and relationship with ultimate truth. For some of you, that may seem obvious. Depending on what you call ultimate truth and the way you commune, meaning how are you in community around that ultimate truth? If you belong to one of what the dominant society calls world religions, major religions, then it may be pretty simple and straightforward. But if you're one of the many individuals who engage across traditions, the boundaries of where you fit with a tradition are porous. They're not fixed. They're unclear. Then you may be self-conscious about your beliefs, your faith, where it fits and where you fit in society. And if you fall in this quasi category, unsure category, multi-category, inter-category, again, I say to you, more importantly, say to yourself, it is my right to self-define my existence and relationship with ultimate truth. Not my mama, not my daddy, not my grandmama, not my nana, not Big Mama, not the church folks, not the school system, not the government. My right to self-define my existence and relationship with ultimate truth. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. So, when we first started Sacred Space Sunday, I think I was still somewhat in the beginning of my master's journey, working on my master's divinity. And it was not uncommon that we would talk about the things I was studying, talk about the things that I was learning. And, I would share these things because as I was wanting to know and it was intriguing to me, I thought maybe, just maybe, it's also intriguing to you. So I shared, I recently took this Spanish exam. We're coming to the end of the semester, my first semester in this doctoral program. And I've got a really big paper that's due tomorrow. And so my professor's on Facebook. So, if he should come across this broadcast, you'll have it tomorrow, hook or crook, one way or another. You're gonna get it. It's not done yet, but it will be done. I'll tell the truth on that. But the paper really has been I was about to say a labor of love, but it really has not been a labor. It's really been love, love, love. Um, it's been a challenge, to fit it in, given everything else that's going on in life. But it really has been a space to be thoughtful, to reflect. What did you say, Latanya, earlier? Have some revelations, because it is a paper that is talking about those individuals that are in this non-normative religious space, right? People who cross religious boundaries, who don't affiliate or adhere strictly and solely to one religious teaching, set of rituals, and commitments. And so, it is my life's journey in conversation with many others who talk about this, professionally. So I want to share a little bit of this paper with you all today. So feel free to give me feedback, and I'll work it in the paper, because like I said, it's not done yet. And we want to do well on this paper. So y'all let me know if I'm missing the mark on anything. So thank you. So a couple of things that I found interesting in terms of some statistical data out there. You may or may not be aware that Christianity is the religion that the most people in the world adhere to. It is absolutely the largest religion. And the United States of America has one of the largest Christian populations. However, what the statistics show is that the number of people that identifies as Christian is declining in the United States. Now, when I say it's declining, there is still vastly the majority. In a survey that was done by Pew Research Center, which does a lot of great studies and statistics. If you're the kind of person that's into statistics, go to Pew. They cover a lot of different areas, and they got a lot of great data. So if that's your deal, you want to check them out. Anyway, they did a survey in 2018, 2019, and the survey reported that 65% of American adults identify as Christian. So like we said, still vastly the majority. And 26% identify as unaffiliated. Now, that's a small number in comparison to the number of Christians. But what was interesting about that number, 26% reporting that they're unaffiliated, is that the last time they did this study, which was in 2009, it was 17%. So it went from 17% to 26% in 10 years. Now, the statistics become even more telling when we look at millennials. In that same survey, 49% as compared to 65% identify as Christian. So whereas 65% of American adults overall identify as Christian, only 49% of millennials identify as such. 9% of millennials identified as non-Christian faiths, so Jewish, they're Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, some non-Christian faith. But 40% consider themselves unaffiliated. So when you look at millennials, half identified as Christians and half did not. That's a major shift in the religious landscape in the United States. And we're showing that the numbers are continuing to trend in this direction. So what does that mean? That religious diversity is real and it's increasing. And the way people relate to religions is continuing to change in the United States. And it's actually not something new. This has always been the case. If you do historical research on religions and Christianity in particular. And so now you see two reasons why here at the Niyah Center, which is an interfaith community, and here at Sacred Space Sunday, which is an interfaith program that draws on multiple ancient wisdom teachings and universal principles. One of many reasons why there is still a great emphasis on the Christian teachings. One, I was raised Christian. Two, Mark is a Christian. Three, we live in a Christian dominated society. It permeates everything around us. It's Christmas season. Regardless of whether you identify as a Christian, you can't not engage with Christmas. Any store you walk in, any neighborhood you drive through, you see signs of symbols that are associated with Christianity. And so it is a part of all of our lives in the United States. It's just to what extent it is personal for you and more so your faith. But in that, I believe it's important to note the many ways people engage traditions and their faith. Now, in the academic world, they've got a lot of different terms that they use to describe people who are unaffiliated. So, in these statistics, the 26% of adults that are unaffiliated, the 40% of millennials that are unaffiliated. What does that mean? What is unaffiliated? Well, it's a pretty big bucket. It includes atheists. It includes agnostic. It includes people who are double belongers, multiple belongers, multiple religious participants, people who are spiritual. Some people call themselves spiritually fluid. Some people call themselves hybrid. A double belonger might be a person who's hyphenated. Jewish and Buddhist, they use the term Jubu sometimes, or they might have an and or a hyphen. It's the many different ways. Or unaffiliated. People are called nuns. Nuns, they use that term sometimes to capture people who don't affiliate with any tradition, but consider themselves spiritual. But then some people call folks spiritual, but not religious, SBNR. So there are all of these terms that are out there, labels. Society loves to label. See something, you must name it. We are very uncomfortable as humans, and particularly in the Western society, with something having an existence without a label. It's as if it is unlabeled, it does not exist. It is as if it is unlabeled, it does not exist. So then let's take that to this term, unaffiliated. That's not a label, because it's a bucket of a bunch of different individual humans who are aware that they don't have a concrete label, or a label that somebody may have given them that doesn't really feel comfortable. And what did I just say? If you don't have a label in Western society, it's as if you don't exist. So this bucket of unaffiliated, the individual humans, the lived experiences behind that bucket are people who may feel that they don't exist. How do I know? I fall in the unaffiliated column. I'm in that bucket. I ask myself, what does unaffiliated mean to me? How do I label myself? Well, the answer continues to change. As my first faith journey has continued to unfold over the years, how I label myself has continued to change. As a child, I didn't choose my tradition. I was born into it. My mother chose it for me. My mother, like her mother before, was an Episcopalian Christian. Hyphenated. Yeah, I say Episcopalian Christian because there's all kinds of Christians. Mark grew up in a household as a Pentecostal Christian. There's Baptist Christians, AME Christians, evangelical Christians, all kind of Christians. And although they all claim Christianity, the way they come to Christianity, the teachings they uphold, the way that they worship, the rituals that they employ, and the way that they employ them can be very different. So even under the umbrella of one tradition, there is variety and diversity, multiplicity. So as a preteen, I was confirmed in the Episcopal Church. And for those of you who are not Episcopalian, confirmation meant that and this is the quote, that I made a mature commitment to Christ and received strength from the Holy Spirit through prayer and the laying on of hands of a bishop. It required of those to be confirmed that they have been baptized, are sufficiently instructed in Christian faith, are penitent for their sins, and are ready to affirm their confession of Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord. And this comes from the Book of Common Prayer, page 859. Book of Common Prayer leads the rituals, the specific rituals that Episcopalians employ in their services. Not exclusively, but certainly that's one of the key sacred texts of Episcopal followers. So the challenge became that I made this confession, and there were many parts of it that I did believe. I certainly believed in that God existed in Jesus and all of that. But at the time, I still had some questions because my mind could never reconcile that this loving God damned to eternal hell all people who had not taken a similar oath, regardless of whether they were good people or had no knowledge of these rules. I thought about people who live in other parts of the world where, because of their culture, they adhere to different beliefs and teachings. So they literally have no knowledge of this. It's not like someone presented it to them and they said no, they have no awareness of it, but they're damned to hell. Or maybe it was presented to them and they didn't choose it, but they're good people and ethically they live wonderfully. But the core teaching was none of that mattered. My mind couldn't reconcile it. It may be truth for others. It was not truth for me. So at an early age, as a preteen, I started to have these faith dilemmas. And it was compounded by the fact that, I spent many of my summers growing up in Queens, New York, living with my grandmother. Like I said, my grandmother was an Episcopalian Christian who attended a West Indian Episcopal church every single Sunday in Queens, St. Alban the Martyr. Very conservative community. If you have any familiarity with West Indians, generally very conservative, right? And part of the ritual is a weekly Eucharist, which is communion. And so one summer when I returned and was going to church, I noticed that, the few peers that I had at the church were receiving the Holy Communion each Sunday. What you may not know is that in the Episcopal churches, certainly in conservative Episcopal churches, may have gotten a little bit more flexible and open now, that if you were unconfirmed in the Episcopal church, that you were not able to receive the Holy Communion. Only confirmed Episcopalians could receive the Holy Communion. So when you are not confirmed, when you go to the altar, you just receive the sign of the cross from the priest. So that summer I got the sign of the cross because I had not earned the right to receive communion. frankly, I was embarrassed. I was a kid, right? You want to fit in. My family was also embarrassed because here it is, my grandmother, her granddaughter is the only one that age who isn't. So the family quickly determined, it was time to get confirmed. And I did. Yes, I partially believed in the oath that I took, but mainly I did it to fit in. And with no judgment towards anyone in my family, yeah, there was community pressure to do it. And so I became an Episcopalian Christian, mainly because I wanted to be a religious insider and not an outsider. I was 11 or 12. I wanted to fit. Was there a choice? It wasn't until I got to college that I had real choice. And because for so long I felt like I didn't really have choice in terms of my religion and my understanding of religion, being religious was so limited, I thought I've got to choose this teaching or nothing. And I've shared this before. So for many years, I left institutional religion. I chose to instead quietly embrace my own beliefs about God. Now, there was a cost to pay. I had no community. I felt spiritually alone, misunderstood, religiously ostracized from my family, from my community, and from society at large. Because I'm supposed to have a religion. I'm supposed to go to church, and it's supposed to look like this. Dwayne Bidwell, who is a practical theologian, a Buddhist, and Christian, I say that because that's how he identifies himself. He writes about the enormous risks associated with disclosing what he calls exceptional spirituality. Exceptional spirituality meaning any form of spirituality that doesn't fit the normative societal claims about spirituality. So in the United States, normative spirituality is singular, authoritative, logical, doctrinal, meaning it relies on text. It's bounded, meaning you can't cross lines. It's very clear about where the lines are. And it's exclusivist, meaning my way or the highway, right? Anything that is different from that, any form of faith that is different from that is considered exceptional, using his language. So the years that I wandered spiritually alone, adhering to my exceptional spirituality by myself was, a form of being in the closet, spiritually in the closet. And, yes, as I've shared before, there were times I passed as mono-religious, and I did that by just avoiding all religious discussions. Ultimately, the cost was spiritual stagnation, loss of community and connection, and an intersectional othering. This was one other marginalization tacked on to that being Black and a woman. I was spiritually unaffiliated. Now, I was fortunate, as I got older, that I did find community of like-minded people in several of the places that I lived. But every time I moved, and I moved frequently, I had to find a new space and a new place where I could fit, where I could learn, where I could grow. And it's challenging because of the reasons that I opened this talk with. Because the unaffiliated are often marginalized and even erased from existence. Many don't know that there are others like them, and if so, they don't know where to find them, how to gather. which is why the Niyah Center was created, to support people like me, to support me. It was a charitable and selfish endeavor at the same time, and continues to be every Sunday. That's why it's so sacred. That's why it's so sacred. So that's a little bit about my journey. It continues to unfold. As I revisit the question, what does unaffiliated mean to me? How do I label myself? None of those categories that I listed resonate for me personally. All I can tell you is I'm a person of deep faith. Who cares? Feels and loves. It is my right to self-define my existence in relationship with ultimate truth. What is your ultimate truth? Thank you. I'll drop the link one more time in case anybody wants to come in and share a word or two. I'm conscious of the time, and this is important. Mark, any thoughts? Will I add you back? Because we can't hear you. No, we're both doing it at the same time. That's not new.
Oh, that was a very interesting testimony. I thought that the story about the communion was stood out to me. I think other kids were taking it, but you weren't. And grandma was like, "Nah, that ain't gonna go."
You know her. Does she seem like somebody that would have been okay with it? Yeah, and you know, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it because it has taken this many years in my full journey for me to become full circle, you know, and I no longer feel in either or, you know, I ascribe to all Christian teachings or I don't get to embrace any. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. You know, those of you who come to Sacred Space Sunday on a regular basis know, you know, I draw from the Bible all the time. I've read the Bible, like the whole thing, you know, and I've read the Quran, you know, and I read them because I want to know what they say, and it's meaningful to me, and it's instructive to me, and I'm a follower of Jesus.
Yeah.
Among other exemplars, it is simply that the way I engage my faith and my personal theology doesn't necessarily match everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not unique. And the more I read and the more I learn, I discover more and more people that might surprise you, famous people, people that, you know, others have firmly put into a Christian box, and therefore their definition of what being in a Christian box means, where if you look at their writings and you look at what they express in their life, you find that there is a greater depth to it, and that there are certainly interreligious engagements that they have that have informed them and informed their theology, and actually that their faith reflects many traditions. And so that is actually more common than norm. It is just the society always wants to put us in these binaries, right? A term that gets thrown around so much now. just an awareness of the either orness of Western society, the either orness of the United States, the divisiveness that we see that you spoke of on the news, that you spoke of earlier in the broadcast, how much that shows up in the spiritual space. And so we want to find this opportunity to exercise our personal agency with our own faith in the same way that we should have it with our bodies.
So then, are you unaffiliated still at this moment?
Yeah.
You don't associate as dual belonging or multiple belonging?
Well, see, that's the thing, right? What do we mean when we say unaffiliated? Unaffiliated, like I said, is a broad category. It's like a box where people dump a bunch of stuff in. All those things get dumped in that box, right? It's an umbrella term, like people of color. What does that mean? That's dumping everybody who's not white into people of color. We don't have to name them specifically. We don't have to figure them out. We just dump them in. And so unaffiliated is a big umbrella term to just dump in everybody who doesn't identify as just one tradition only exclusively. And so what I would say with that definition, a lot more people are unaffiliated than, would even call themselves that.
Is SBNR unaffiliated, spiritual but not religious? Is that?
Yeah, that would be one of the terms. Double belonger, somebody who considers themselves a Buddhist Christian would be in that box.
Jubu.
All of that would be in that box. Everyone. And so certainly in this day and age of the commodification of meditation, anyone who engages in meditation, unless they consider themselves a Christian mystic, based on these definitions, these hard lines, these boundaries, is unaffiliated. Because that absolutely comes from another tradition outside of Christianity. But Christianity was built on many different traditions.
Okay.
So the point of this conversation is really to hopefully give people freedom to love and accept themselves. Oh, you almost let me get away without the application and results. So that was a lot of insight. So what? Thank you, Jillian. Jillian had hopped on for us for a minute, but clearly she had much to do with her Sunday. I know she is a busy bee and couldn't stay on, but thank you for coming on for a second, Jillian. It was great to see your face, even momentarily. Yeah, let's put on the Insight Plus application. So, as we said, right now we are in what is known as a season of giving, a season of renewal. And so during this remaining part of 2021, and as we move into early 2022, we ask that you commit to 7 things. Seven's the magic number. To commit to 7 things you will actually do, not just think about, not just contemplate, not just put on a calendar, not just write down. 7 things that you will do for yourself before January 9th. Why January 9th? Because January 9th is the next time we will come together at Sacred Space Sunday. So we will take a family break, a time to be with family and to restore and renew ourselves. And Sacred Space Sunday will return Sunday, January 9th. So between now and January 9th, commit to 7 things you will do for yourself and actually do them that foster spiritual renewal. What does that mean? You will have to determine that, but something that supports you, something that represents a gift of love and acceptance of yourself. Fostering spiritual renewal, something that represents your love and acceptance of yourself, emotionally, physically, spiritually, intellectually.
Mm.
So again, 7 things you're going to do for yourself that represent the love and acceptance of yourself as an act of spiritual renewal. Anything come to mind that you're going to do, Mark, for yourself?
I'm
going to do some yoga. I'm going to meditate.
Daily devotion. Pick that back up.
Yep. And I'm either going to get a massage, or I went to a spa recently nearby where we're located, and they had the hydrotherapy. I really like that. But my body needs some attention. I've been putting a lot of strain and pressure on it over the last couple of months, and it needs some love and attention. So I'm going to look for some ways to give my body some love and attention. Say that again.
I said, I got you.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Accept it and receive it. Anything else, family? Any thoughts about what you're going to do among your 7 things? Please put it in the chat. Put it in the chat.
Jillian says she's here. She's still listening.
What's something you're going to do for spiritual renewal? What comes to mind? Because if something popped in your head, then that probably is like the main thing you actually need to not just commit to do, but just get it done and get it done soon. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? There's a few of you out there, so I know y'all don't want to commit here. That's why we start with commit to do it between now and January 9th. Well, we're going to ask you again in the new year. And we wish you a beautiful and safe new year.
And holiday season overall.
Yeah. Holiday season. Be good to yourself over these next couple of weeks. Massage sounds good to you too, Noreen. Yeah. Yeah. You can keep your mask on. I've done it. It still works. It still works. Mask on. Okay. Mindful eating, meditation, physical activity, water intake. Say I love you more to those I love. And say it to yourself. Yeah, say it to those you love and include yourself in that list.
Yeah.
Saying I love you to yourself several times a day. Not and those activities you listed, LaTanya, definitely are demonstrations of love for yourself, but it doesn't hurt to say it to yourself too.
Yep.
Take a break from social media, practice meditating, drink more water, and exercise. Yes. Yes, sounds like I am not the only one who needs to give some love to the body, and thanks for getting me through 2021 and recognition that I wanted to come with me into 2022 in a healthy way.
Yep. I add exercise as well.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, thank you, Brother DeVoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Nature walks. So healing. So healing.
Yeah.
I'm looking out my window and nature walk is calling me right now. All right, folks. Right. Yes. Writing can be very healing. And, you leave a legacy when you write. Relax the brain. Read something I want to read. I know that's right, Moisés. I know that's right. But, I'm lying. I love the stuff that I read for school. But I might get on one of them David Baldacci novels that Mark has been, soaking up like water. So I may do that because so some books that I like to read also that I normally don't have time to. Definitely journaling. Yeah, Mark is big on judgment-free journaling.
Yeah, create space for healing.
Yep, and then put on them 528 hertz behind you when y'all are doing some of these relaxing the brain, journaling, meditating. I tell you, that frequency is said to heal, and I believe it does. Mark, it'll definitely give you some good sleep, right?
Yeah.
It'll rest your mind and your spirit.
Yeah.
Source of spiritual renewal. Anything else, folks? Any prayer requests as we go into a closing prayer? Well, when you're ready, just take a posture that has you present. I give thanks. I give thanks for the ultimate, for that which I call God, and by so many names, and all of the prophets and teachers. I give thanks for my ancestors, for without them and their strength and their courage, their resilience, there would be no me to call me. I give thanks for all the future generations. And I give thanks for our sacred space family. I am knowing that each and every voice that hears my voice now and in the future is at peace, is loving and is loved, is divinely guided, uplifted, it is flowing in the stream of abundance. Is perfect, whole, and complete as they are. That peace and ease is the truth of their being. I give thanks for the sacred space, for being a divine channel, for the collective energy that we send to the world as meta energy to uplift all wherever located in support of the collective good. For love is truth and truth is love. I release this to the action of the law, knowing it's already done, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Blessings of oneness, love, and joy.
And health and healing for the Adams family. We pray for that as well. Those of you requested.
Love you, Angela. Sending you health and healing. Congratulations for Ariane for graduating from FAMU. Another member of the family.
And you got a question from Latanya.
Can you re-explain what the StreamYard is? Is it the same as entering comments in the chat? No, ma'am. If you would have clicked on that, we would have seen you live and in person. You'd have been up on this screen like Mark Christmas and myself. Maybe I did not make that clear by clicking on that.
An opportunity to be on video.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to be on video, be live in the studio. That's how you join us in the studio. That was the link for this particular Sacred Space Sunday to bring you live into the studio. So somebody wants to click right quick and come in and say hi, you're welcome to do it before we shut it down. Woohoo! Blessings on blessings on blessings. We're just giving you all a minute or so because we know that there is a delay.
Right.
But if not, it's something to. I hear that. I mean, so got it. So just for future reference, when you click it, you don't come automatically on screen. It's not like Instagram and the like. You go into a waiting room where we can see you, but others cannot. So when Jillian came on, we could see her, but you all could not see her or hear her. We would get a thumbs up sign from you. Oh, I got to stay in camera. We would get a thumbs up sign from you first to say you're ready to actually be brought on camera, but you could come into the waiting room. So
what is VO? What is VOI? So
it may be a troll mark. You know, I don't know what that is. So.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, people, something to keep in mind for the future. If we send the link out again, it does allow you to join, but you'll have a moment to get your wig together. So we love you. Have a wonderful Sunday, and we will see you here again on January 9th. But certainly in the meantime, in between time, know that we are always there. So sending blessings to you and yours.
Enjoy the season of giving.
Amen. And so it is.
Amen.
Happy Sunday.
Man and a woman.